Alright, what's up guys? In today's video, we will be discussing how I got jacked in 16 months. We will be discussing how I went from this to this in 16 months. So some background on me, when I started out lifting, started out as a 140-pound long distance runner, running anywhere from 40 to 60 miles a week, training for half marathon marathons. And then I was 140 pounds, and in 16 months, I went from 140 pounds, 9.9% body fat, to 165 pounds, 9% body fat. And here's how I did it. So step one, I found a program from the internet and I just followed it. So I found a program, a bodybuilding program from bodybuilding.com, and it was a 4-day split. It was shoulders and traps, chest and triceps, lats and biceps, and legs. 4-day split. Okay. And so I went into the gym and I had no idea what I was doing. I didn't know how to do any exercises other than machines. And when I was using the machines, I didn't know how to do them properly. So what I would do was I would see the exercises that were given to me, I would read their names, and I would go to YouTube and I would search how to do these exercises properly. Okay. And so I did that for every single exercise that was on the 4-day split. And eventually I mastered how to do them. All right, so that's what I did. So if you guys are new to the gym and you have no idea what to do, it literally doesn't matter what program you pick. Just literally pick a program and go. It doesn't matter. Just literally pick a program and go. If you can't find a program, just go in the gym and start lifting weights and you'll figure it out. But you have to just get in the gym and just, I can't put emphasis on this enough. Pick a program and just find something. Find anything and just do it. You can watch plenty, there's thousands of tutorials on YouTube of how to properly do movements, okay? But this is very important. You can choose any program, but if you want to get muscle, if you want to get jacked and skinny, I'd recommend a bodybuilding program because that's going to do it the fastest. Step two, I watched YouTube videos on how to train. So like I was saying earlier, I consumed tons and tons of content on how to properly train each and every muscle group, right? I learned how to properly contract my muscles. So when I was about 9 months in, I noticed that my lats, my back muscles, were lagging behind all of my other muscles. And so that's when I had to have a conversation with myself and I was wondering, okay, why are my lats so small relative to my other muscles? And it was because after watching a Dorian Yates, who's Mr. Olympia, like 7 or 6-time Mr. Olympia video discussing how to train lats, I learned that I wasn't contracting them properly. So I highly recommend that when you're new to the gym and you're learning how to lift, watch YouTube videos on how to properly contract each and every muscle when you're doing every exercise, okay? This is going to save you a lot of time, right? So I got extremely jacked in 16 months, and this is primarily what I attribute it to, learning how to properly contract your muscles, okay? So literally watch YouTube tutorial videos for every exercise you do. Step three, all right? So in order to get muscle, in order to get bigger, you have to eat in a caloric surplus, okay? So I ate in a caloric surplus of anywhere from 500 to 1,200 calories per day. If you don't, so what that means is I ate about 500 to 1,200 calories above my maintenance calories. And your maintenance calories are the calories you eat in order that you have to eat in order to maintain your weight. Okay. So if you don't know what your maintenance calories are, I recommend you Google something like a TDEE calculator, and you enter in the information in it, and it tells you your activity level. Or excuse me, it tells you your maintenance calories. And your maintenance calories are all relative to your activity level. All right. So in addition to eating in a surplus, you have to eat plenty of protein. Protein is the macronutrient that you eat to grow muscles. I recommend eating anywhere from 1.25 grams of protein per pound of body weight to like 1.5 grams of protein per pound of body weight. So if you weigh 200 pounds, you need to eat something like 250 grams of protein to build muscle. The science is kind of iffy. The science says as low as 0.8 to 1, but in my experience, 1.25 has better gains. But this is extremely important. You can do all this work. You can spend a ton of time in the gym, but if you're not eating in a caloric surplus, you're not eating adequate protein, you will not grow. All right, step four. So after being on my 4-day bodybuilding split for about 5 months, I elevated to a 5-day routine. So I had the same split, but on day 5, I did lots of calisthenics work. So I would do like push-ups, pull-ups, dead hangs, just like literally hanging from a bar. And then like shoulder push-ups, like against the wall. All right, so after that, and this, I switched to a 6-day routine, and this is where I got my like best gains. This is where the improvements really started coming in, And that 6-day routine was push pull legs heavy, push pull legs volume. So your push days will be days in which you exercise push muscles, so your chest, shoulders, and triceps. Your pull day would be days in which you utilize you exercise your pull muscles, so your lats and your traps and forearms. And legs are legs. So the first 3 days, you're going to focus on going heavy. So anywhere from 4 to 8 reps. Me personally, once I got to 8 reps for about 3 sets, I increased the weight by 5 to 10 pounds, just depending on where I am in training. As a beginner, you should be able to increase more than 5 pounds when you're increasing weight. And then I did push-pull leg volume, so which is more hypertrophy based, which is all about getting higher volume, which is also good for stimulating muscle growth. So when I did this routine, push-pull legs heavy, push-pull legs volume, I really focused on properly contracting my muscles. So literally, with every exercise I did, I focused on mind-muscle connection. So if there's one thing you all take away from this video, it's learning how to properly contract your muscles, and it's learning how to properly utilize your mind-muscle connection. And it's literally just the connection that your brain makes when you're trying to contract a specific muscle. So for example, when you're doing something like a V-grip a V-grip tricep press down, you're utilizing your shoulders and your triceps and a little bit of lats even for stability. But when you're training that, you're primarily training it in order to get bigger and stronger triceps. And so because of that, you want to have really good mind-muscle connection with your triceps and to minimize the amount of shoulder and lats work you're doing, okay? And so this is why you have to learn mind-muscle connection, so it'll make your growing that much better, because you're actually going to grow the muscles you want to get bigger more efficiently and quickly. Okay, so I recommend learning how to properly find out mind-muscle connection as soon as you start, okay? Even on the heavy days. When you're going heavy, you want to properly contract the muscles. When you're going light, you still want to properly contract the muscles. Because in terms of bodybuilding, in terms of getting bigger, when you're training unless you're doing a compound exercise for the most part, right? So unless you're squatting, benching, deadlifting, generally, in terms of bodybuilding, you want to when you're doing a exercise, you want to grow a specific muscle. So for example, I can sit here and do side lateral raises like this, but when I do it like this, I'm using some shoulders. I'm using quite a bit of shoulders, but I'm also using a ton of traps. And there's so many more effective exercises to do if you want to get bigger traps. So if you want to, I did some research, did my own trial and error, and I realized that, okay, if I do side lateral raises like this, I'm barely using my traps at all, and I'm primarily engaging my shoulders, which is what you want to do when you're doing something like side lateral raises, when you want to get bigger, broader shoulders, okay? So that's step 6. I focused highly on mind-muscle connection. I'm telling you guys, if you learn how to properly contract all of your muscles when you're first beginning how to train, it'll feel like a cheat code. You will grow so fast. This is extremely important. This is why usually it takes people a couple of years, like at least 1 to 2 years of consistent training to even have the wherewithal to realize that they're not training properly, that they're not contracting their muscles properly. And usually that comes to the consequence of having underdeveloped body parts, underdeveloped muscles like I did, my lats. So I highly focus on learning how to properly contract every muscle, focus on mind muscle connection. I can't go into detail about how important this is enough. I transformed my physique. I literally put on 25 pounds of muscle in 16 months by following all these steps. Now, all these steps are extremely important. You don't have to start with a 4-day routine. You don't have to start with a 5-day routine. You don't have to elevate to a 6-day routine, although I do highly recommend doing a 6-day routine for optimal growth, because there's something about hitting every single muscle twice a week that's beneficial for growth and strength. But anyways, that is today's video. This is how I got jacked in 16 months. If you guys are interested, and I offer one-on-one coaching, teach you how to be hybrid athletes. If you're new to lifting, teach you how to bodybuild, all that good stuff. The link will be in the bio. And if you guys enjoyed this video, leave a like, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.